Welcome to this sneak preview of a workshop titled The Anatomy of the Listening Task. Watch the video and find some, hopefully, useful tips on how to teach listening more effectively. Tip number 1. Dedicate time to teach students how to become better listeners. Do this at the start of every year and every now and then remind them of the strategies you have discussed. Instead of panicking, students will have some strategies at their disposal and will feel more relaxed. Simple strategies, such as understanding instructions, predicting the answers or waiting for the additional listening will be very helpful. Tip number 2. As we all know, it is not enough just to press play. The preparatory phase serves the purpose of introducing the topic and creating the motivation for listening. It is harder to concentrate on listening if you have little interest in a topic or situation. In weaker classes, you could also pre-teach some vocabulary to make the activity easier. Tip number 3. One more important thing you could do before listening is to activate their prior knowledge of the topic. This is characterized as top-down listening activity. If you are listening about a famous person, you can brainstorm vocabulary that might appear in the text, or you could ask students to tell you what they already know about the person. Then they listen and check if they were right. Tip number 4. Listening cannot be seen as an isolated skill. In a communicative act, listening is usually integrated with speaking, writing or reading. Comprehension also depends on students' mastery of vocabulary or grammar. One way to integrate all the skills above is to use dictogloss. It is a technique where students listen to a text, take notes, and then work together to recreate a version which is as similar as possible to the original text. Tip number 5. As often as possible, students should have the chance to listen to authentic texts. Authentic texts usually contain connected speech, which means that not every word is clearly stressed. Instead of saying, "He is not going to teach her anything," you are more likely to hear something similar to, "He's not going to teach her anything." One simple way to practice this skill is to say sentence using connected speech and ask students to tell you the number of words they heard in the sentence. After that, you can ask them to write down the same sentence. Tip number 6. One more way to teach listening is to use music. Music is often the major source of English outside of the classroom. The exposure to authentic English is an important factor in promoting language learning. Tip number 7. Students are less likely to meet a person with a perfect British accent than a non-native speaker of English. That is why it is important to expose students to more than one variant of the English language. Have students listen to people from other English-speaking countries. Better yet, ask your students to create podcasts and then play them to your other students. This will prepare students for encounters with English speakers in the real world. We hope you have enjoyed the video, and we hope to see you at the 28th Annual Hoop Conference in November this year. Stay safe.